Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and if you are watching the live stream, then you are watching the Tuesday Night Natter. If you're not watching the live stream, then you can watch this any day of the week you want. This is just an excuse, this video, live stream, whatever. This is just an excuse for my adult daughter Maya and I to chat a little more and have anybody who wants to join in. We're doing it on around 4:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, so I'm sure most of you good folks are working for a living, but this happens to be Maya's day off, and I work at home, so I can arrange my schedule however I want to. So, if you've watched our Saturday stitching videos where we normally talk about crafty stuff, you also know that we let the chat kind of get away from us a little bit. So we thought we'd try doing an extra video during the week just to run our mouths. So we may talk a little bit about yarn, we may not. The way this is going to go is I have a running list of random topics. Maya has a running list of random topics, and we just kind of pick something from the list and as a starting point, and we kind of go off from there. So if anybody happens to be in the chat room and throws a few thoughts in, we may go off from whatever you guys talk about. But let me stop nattering and give Maya a chance to say hello. Hello, Maya.
Hello. I
What
was
you doing
working
there?
on some
What
wire
what
things.
what you doing there, Maya?
I am working on cutting wire actually at the moment. So I've got a festival this Friday. It's called Wild Realms, and it's all kinds of nerdy things. There's gonna be sparring and fire spinning and one shot D&D games. And so I am in the middle of wrapping some D20s.
Yay.
So I've
And
got
your
some.
video is looking pretty good today.
Yeah,
I can see that D20 very well.
it looks good, but it has glitched out at least once already. So I don't know how well my internet is running, but we shall see.
Well, my internet's been kind of glitchy too, so you're not alone. So let's see if we get through this natter at all. So since we started with my list of randomness last time, do you want to start with your list of randomness? Throw some topics out there.
Before we get into the topics, do you want to do a recap on Spotify? Because I sent you, we mentioned last week or last Saturday about Postmodern Jukebox, and I sent you my Postmodern Jukebox playlist, and you sent me yours. Do you want to talk about that before we get into things?
Well, that was at the top of my list.
Oh, snap. Well, let's go
so
ahead and talk about it.
so this really is turning into a Tuesday night music club then. Okay. So did you listen to my list?
I listened to some of it. I wasn't able to listen. Oh, Tracy's in the chat. Hi, Tracy. Sorry, I've got my chat all big up here, but it's on the far side of my screen. Maybe if I just move this window right on over, then I should be able to. There we go. Now I can see things. Okay, but so I listened to some of it. Your list was a lot shorter than mine, first of all, and out of even though my list was longer, we only had two songs in common in our
Yeah, I
list,
noticed that.
which was really interesting. But your list was a bunch of songs, except for I think one song. Your list
Oh, wait a
was
minute.
at
Before we go off there, I'm sorry. Don't go crazy.
you're good.
Um, I think we should explain who Postmodern Jukebox is. We're just assuming everybody knows who Postmodern Jukebox is, but maybe we should at least give a heads up of who Postmodern Jukebox is. Postmodern Jukebox is I would call it a loose, um, ensemble's not the word. Um,
I would just say music group.
well, no, not really. There's a specific word where, like in theater, where there is kind of
Troop?
a specific troupe of people who tend to be in where they pull from the same group of actors to be in different
Oh
productions.
yeah, I know what you're
American
talking about.
Horror American Horror Story is a
Yep,
bit like that.
I know
Where
exactly what you're talking about, but I don't know the word.
they pull from the same group, and it's like a the word starts with an E, but it's not entourage.
Are you sure it's not Entourage?
No, because an entourage is your group of hangers on. If you're the star and these are all your hangers on
Okay,
that
okay.
kind of hang with you. So it's not entourage. But anyway, the main person is Scott Bradley. He is the piano player and the arranger for the music. And then he pulls in lots of different guest musicians and guest vocalists specifically because Scott doesn't. If Scott sings, I don't remember hearing him sing.
Yeah, I don't think I've
I
heard him
really
sing
don't.
either.
I've watched a couple of his live streams, but I've only ever heard him play. I haven't seen him sing. But he's the arranger. And what he does, he works specifically, almost exclusively with covers. So what he does is he takes modern music and does arrangements in an old-fashioned style or in a more retro style. So like, and it's not always the same style. Like sometimes it's like a ragtime style. Sometimes it's a 1930s style. Sometimes it's a 1960s Beach Boy style or a 1960s Motown style or a 1970s funk style. But he takes stuff that's on the top 40 list and arranges them in different styles, and then he gets different musicians. And there's certain musicians, especially certain vocalists, who work with him a lot. Like one of my favorite, I think, of all of the vocalists who work with him is Morgan James. I
Oh, she's so
love
good.
Morgan. I love Morgan James's voice. And another one who, if you like watching the videos, because his music, he has several albums on Spotify. He also does tours every year with whoever's available. And so, like in certain area, he might have certain vocalists, and then when he moves to the West Coast, he'll have different vocalists. Depending on what part of the country or the world he's going to, because he does a European tour as well. Um, but he also, whenever he does a new song, he releases it on YouTube. So you can watch practically all of it. Like most of the songs that we'll probably talk about in a few minutes, I know all of the songs that are on my list. There's only 10 songs on my list that I sent to Maya. And all of the songs on my list I know are videos because I heard the songs as videos first. I almost never listen to Postmodern Jukebox on Spotify, even though it's there. I run YouTube and do the YouTube videos because a lot of them, like sometimes they'll have a tap dancer come in, depending
Hmm.
on the style that there is. There'll be a tap dancer that comes in and dances. On one of the covers of Despacito, it's in like a 1940s Chicano zoot suit kind of style where they're actually singing it in Spanish, and the woman is all like 1940s clothes.
Okay,
A
maybe I
lot
need
of
to
the
go watch
videos.
that video because that was one of the ones that I was going to talk about was Despacito is other than the two on our list that we share. Despacito is the
Mhm.
only song that I knew ahead of time, like that I knew the original version of from your
Oh,
list.
you didn't know the original version of any of those
Oh, except for
songs?
High Hopes. Despacito and High Hopes. Those are the only two.
Well, yeah, High Hopes is relatively new.
So anyway.
I mean, the original is relatively new because I just heard it on the top 40 station
Of what,
like
High
last
Hopes?
week.
Yeah, it just came out a little while ago, but I
Okay.
also listened to Panic at the Disco
Okay,
anyway.
good.
But so Despacito, but I listened to that one while I
Was
was in
High
the
Hopes
car on the
Panic
way
at
over
the
here.
Disco? I thought High Hopes was.
Mama
Fall Out
said, "Don't
Boy
give up. I'm a
or
little complicated." That is Brendan Urie, Panic at the Disco.
I for some reason I thought it was.
Don't question me. It is. Don't
Oh,
question
I'm not
me.
trying to. I'm not
Okay.
questioning you because
Okay.
I've only heard the song. I really only ever hear the song in competition shows because that's a song when like somebody did really well and won their round, then they'll play it on the competition show. They just did it on World of Dance.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, well they had their opening number for like the final five groups came out to that song and they were all dancing.
Okay.
I got high hopes for a living. Yeah, it's very
Have you watched the actual
inspirational
music
for
video to
me.
that song?
No.
Oh, watch the music video is actually pretty good. It's like it's basically a video of like Brendan Urie like walking up the side of a building in New York, like a big
Oh
like
good
business
lord.
building. It's so ridiculous. I love it though.
But yeah, so that's
But
what
yeah, that Despacito.
but that's what postmodern jukebox is, as I was explaining.
Oh yeah,
That's what postmodern jukebox is. It's retro feeling covers of modern music. And a lot if you watch the videos like I like to do, I like to watch the videos because the people tend to dress, especially the vocalists. Not so much the musicians, kind of a generic retro style, but the vocalists really try to go. If they're doing the 1940s style, or if they're doing the 1960s style, tease their hair up a little bit, that sort of thing.
Tracy
So
says
I
y'all
like to
make me
watch.
laugh.
I like to watch and see what they have on. How do we make you laugh,
Yeah, I
Teresa?
don't
We
know
we
what we're doing. We're not that
I don't either.
funny, but I appreciate it.
We are not comedians, but thank you. Um, So I thought I was gonna be able to work on this. I am not gonna be able to work on this and talk at the same time. I already see that
Good bit of work done, except for the fact that I forgot some wire in my car.
now.
So I'm just gonna use this slightly more expensive one and hope that it turns out looking better. But so I listened to your playlist.
So
I didn't get to
you
listen to
had
the
questions about Despacito.
not questions. I just was not like not that I wasn't a fan of it. It was a little jarring, I guess, and it wasn't like I guess because when you listen to covers, you always subconsciously, whether you want to or not, compare it to the original if you know the original song. And so
Mhm.
I was thinking of the original song and then they're playing it and I was like, okay. And then it like, I don't know. The beginning was pretty good. The middle was pretty all right. And then it got like, I don't know, very carnival-y. I threw it in the car.
Very
Wayne was
what?
like
It was very
carnival
what?
carnival-esque.
Carnival?
Yes, it's very like I could definitely man, listen to it again and listen to like towards the end of the song and I'm like, all right, I could see hearing this at like a carnival or like it kind of made me think of have you ever watched oh, what's that movie? Have you ever watched Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart?
Please. No.
Okay. So that movie is
I thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to say The Greatest Showman. I was like, don't even ask me about that movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I
I
need to
have
watch
no
it.
intention of seeing it.
Really? Why?
Everybody, because it does not appeal to me. The music does not appeal to me. The story does not appeal to me.
Well, I haven't heard any of
I
the
do
music
not
and I don't know
understand how
anything
songs
about
off of the soundtrack have gotten so popular. It just does not appeal to me.
I haven't heard music and I don't know anything about the story of it. So I like it just seems like an interesting it seemed like an interesting setting anyway to me. But we will discuss this later. So Despacito was a little weird for me. I liked Seven Nation Army. I don't know the original Seven Nation Army, or maybe I do and I just didn't realize it. But I liked Seven Nation Army. I like High Hopes was okay. I definitely prefer the original to that one, but it was not a bad cover by any means. And then I think the only other two songs I listened to were let me see if I can bring up that playlist on my phone so I remember the names of these songs. Um, let's see, Maps I liked, and The Boy Is
See,
Mine I liked.
Maps was one that I did not know
Really.
before I heard the postmodern jukebox version. And for for me, covers fall into three categories. For years, covers for me were like, don't mess with the original. I
Hmm.
like the original. All you're doing is messing it up. Stop it now. Okay. Then I started listening. There was a podcast, which that podcast is probably still going, but I stopped listening to it a while ago, um, called Coverville.
I remember you listening to that. I remember being really young and hearing you listen to that.
So Coverville, I used to love Coverville, but his tastes are a little more indie or something than mine. And he started doing cover stories of bands that I was like not interested in, like the Magnetic Fields or whatever. And so I was like, okay, I don't even know the originals you're doing, and they're not interesting to me. And no, so I stopped. But I
Okay.
might check it out to see if it's still out there because I really did like that show years ago. But when I was listening to Coverville, I started hearing some covers that I liked. So then this there are covers where I like this cover and I like the original too. And then the third is I hate, well, maybe it's four categories because the third is I hated the original, the cover does not fix it for me, I hate this song. And then the fourth is I hated the original, or I thought I hated the original, so somebody else sang it, and then I realized I just hate the singer, which covers most of Rihanna's songs because
Really?
I do not like Rihanna's voice.
I had this like crazy epiphany moment like maybe a year and a half ago where I was listening to one Rihanna song. I don't remember what it was. I think it was Shut Up and Drive because it was in Wreck It Ralph. And so I was listening to one Rihanna song. I was like, and then I listened to another one, and I listened to it, and I'm like, do I just like Rihanna? I didn't realize. I thought that I didn't
Rihanna
like
has some good songs.
the reason.
Okay, there you are.
Ooh,
You're back again.
okay, I was gonna say I think the reason that I thought I didn't like Rihanna is because I don't like her singing the song Umbrella because it sounds very annoying to me. But other than
Okay, I
that,
think Umbrella is one of those songs that falls into the category of nobody can fix that song for me.
you didn't
Stop
like
singing it.
Postmodern Jukebox's cover of it?
No, no,
What? I love that cover. I also really like Casey Abrams. He's
no.
probably my
I like Casey Abrams. I like Casey Abrams. I
favorite of
do.
the. Ooh, I think we're just
I like Casey Abrams.
yeah, he's one of my favorite of the Postmodern Jukebox guest singers. I think we're just gonna have a bad like internet day today.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like him singing that song. I like their cover of that song actually a lot.
Did you listen to his cover of Attention?
No, that's one of the ones I didn't get to on the playlist.
I
I like listening
love
through your list.
I love Casey Abrams' cover of Attention. Um, I don't know, Tracy, if you listen to Postmodern Jukebox, but what I will do is I'll be nice and put both links to both of our lists on in the doobly doo in the description box, even though I think most of Maya's list is trash. But
Oh,
I'm
yes.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was
I'm
so
kidding.
shook.
I have to admit I had to hit skip on a lot of them
I
because
could
it's
see that.
like, yep,
There are
don't
some
like
of the
this one.
songs
Yep, don't
actually
like
on
this one.
that list that I don't listen to anymore. And I need to just take them off the list because I liked them at first. And then after hearing them more, I'm just like, compared to the rest of the songs on this list, I don't really actually like this song. But I haven't yet just because like they're almost like filler songs to me of like I'm listening to this playlist at work or something, and like if I only have 5 songs on this playlist, that playlist is going to get real old real quick, and I don't
Mhm.
have time to keep going into my pocket and changing the songs and stuff.
Yeah,
So they're more like filler songs.
yeah. Tracy is asking if we got hit by storms. Are you talking about today, Tracy? Because Saturday we had um Saturday we had a tornado warning here where I am. I'm 2 hours south of Maya. We're in the same state, but I'm 2 hours south of Maya. Maya's in the mountains, so a lot of times our weather is vastly different. Um, like it's usually about 5 to 10 degrees cooler where she is than it is where I am. But
We got a little bit of rain, but not really like heavy, heavy storms or anything.
no, we had a tornado warning around 3:30, around
Hmm.
3:30 on Saturday, and that was when I texted you and I said I'm going to wait till the storm's
Yeah.
over because we were getting like, I know when it's storming bad because like right you can't see, but right where I'm pointing, what
Hmm.
you can't see is that I have a window right here. Maya knows that because this used to be her bedroom.
I
But
am confused as to how you have that room set up now. Because I know where
there's
the window is, but I thought you were against a completely different wall.
I used to be against a different wall.
Wait, point to the closet.
Closet is back there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I got you.
So the door is behind me over there.
Yeah, I got you now.
Closet's there. Window is right here.
Okay.
Window is right
Yeah, I had a completely different vision of where you were in this room, and now that you just like blew my mind, I was like, "What just happened?" Okay, I got you now.
Okay, she saw on the news where Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and North Carolina was having storms. Again, was that today or was that Saturday? Because Saturday was, yeah, when we had the tornado warning, and my power flickered a couple times, and I know it's a bad storm when I cannot see out my window because the rain is raining so hard. Normally when it rains, I can just look out the window and see it raining. If it is raining and windy so hard that the water is being splashed up against my window and I can't see out my window, then I know it's a bad storm. And that's how it was Saturday. But by the time we got on the by the time we did the live stream on Saturday, the storm was over. So at least it was over in my area. So
Yeah, like I said, we just got some rain. It was like a little on the heavy side for rain, but it wasn't. Let's see. She says I think it was last week and Saturday. Yeah,
yes,
we Saturday we got some rain, but it wasn't nearly any kind of like it wasn't anything scary.
yeah, no, it was. We had tornado warning where it was like, okay, take cover, get away from the windows, turn your
Don't do nothing
electricity
stupid.
off. Yeah, but all good now.
We safe.
Yep. So I will probably put links to both of our playlists in the show notes just in case. Tracy says her family in Texas got lots of rain.
Ooh. Well, hopefully everybody is safe.
Um, yeah, I don't think we got quite that much here because my husband works at the airport and he would have had to work over if a bunch of flights were canceled, and they were not. Rain gets a lot of flights canceled, but he didn't have to work over, so I'm assuming everything was okay. Okay, so
Oh, oh,
anything else you wanted to say about Postmodern Jukebox, my
yes,
dear?
before we got off the topic. So my favorite song on the list that on your list that I listened to was probably Maps. What was your favorite song on my list, excluding the two that we had in common?
On your list, I didn't get all the way through your list, but I think off the top of my head, the one song that made me go, "Oh, I should probably have that on my list," was "Single Ladies." I like Ariana Savalas.
Really?
I like
That
Ariana Savalas. I like the way she kind of whisper sang "Single Ladies."
that's one of the ones that I don't actually listen to. That's one of the filler songs.
And I mean, I'm not saying I will put it back on my list. I mean, there's a reason why it's not on my list, but it was a nice surprise that, oh, I haven't heard it in a while. This is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Let's see. Tracy said, "Thank God y'all are safe, and her family is safe as well. That's good to
That's
hear."
good.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I think my favorite, my personal favorite on my own list is and this is just a current like new favorite, but Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Man, that song was jamming. I didn't realize that could be like a really happy like upbeat song.
Yeah, I like the original of that. I'll have to re-listen to the cover of that. I think my favorite on my own list, it would have to
Mhm.
be a. It might be a tie between Seven Nation Army and Attention. I really
Mhm.
like Attention, and that and
I need
that's
to go
one of those
listen to that.
songs where I like when I heard the Charlie Puth version. I was like, there's something in this song that I kind of think I like, but I can't quite make up my mind about it. And then
Mhm.
just a few weeks later, they did the postmodern jukebox cover, and I was like, that's what it is. You know, the Casey Abrams brought out the goodness of that song. Charlie
Mhm.
Puth, the Charlie Puth original, and I mean he wrote it and everything, but it's his song. But the way he sings it is just a little too whispery,
Okay.
and he doesn't really draw out the emotion of the words, because the words to the song are basically this girl showed up at the party and she's got on her hot dress and she's got on her cologne and stuff and crawling all over the man, and he's like, I know you're just trying to get my attention, just because you can't stand somebody not paying attention to you, but you really don't want me.
Mhm.
So why are you trying to break my heart again?
Yeah.
And so it really, the way Casey Abrams sings it in a slow, jazzy kind of way brings it out
Okay.
where because Charlie Puth is just like, you just want attention, you don't want my heart. Whereas, Charlie Puth is like, you just want attention, you don't want my heart.
Yeah.
He really pulls. And I apologize, Tracy, for torturing you with my singing because I am not a singer.
Your
But
singing is not that bad.
I wanted to try to
Ow.
convey a little bit of the difference. Did you just stab yourself with some wire?
No, I may have just stabbed myself with some pliers though. That really hurt. Ow. I'm trying to open up this wire so I can keep doing what I'm doing, but my other so I got a new set of needle nose, or I think these are chain nose pliers from my friend Aubrey, but they're some of them aren't quite as thin as the chain nose pliers that I have. I'm glad that she gave me this stuff because she gave me a bunch of stuff that I didn't have. Like her round nose pliers are a lot smaller than my round nose pliers, so they're like the ones that
Okay,
she
so
gave. Hmm?
this was the package from
Yeah.
your friend that came in the mail who has changed the kind of stuff she's doing, so she sent you a bunch of stuff she
Yes.
doesn't use anymore. Okay.
Yes. So I originally only had chain nose pliers, which are these ones. They're flat and come to a bit of a point, and then I have round nose pliers, which are these ones, and they're completely round all the way around. They're not flat in the middle. These pink handles are the ones that she sent me. Mine are out in the car, and so I'm like, let me use these ones. But and so I'm really happy because she also sent me some like actual flat nose pliers that are like big and wide and clampy like an alligator. And she sent me some snips, which I didn't have, and bent nose pliers. So she sent me four sets of pliers and set of snips, which is really good.
That was very generous of her.
Yes, I'm working on trying to make her something, but I'm not sure what to make. She can basically make too. But her chain nose pliers that she sent me, the tips of them aren't quite as narrow as the ones that I had bought myself. And so I'm trying to wedge them in between this wire here. So you see how I bent out that wire there
Mhm.
to go around the D20? So I'm trying to do that on the other side, but you see how close those wires are. I'm trying to pull out another
Yeah.
wire on the other side to go around, and I can't wedge it in there. I'm trying to find something to use to wedge that's not going to just like snap on me because I don't want to stab myself in the thumb with the pliers again because that was very unpleasant.
I
Mm,
can imagine. So, do you have anything else that you would like to talk about?
let's see.
Or do you
I
want
I can go over what I remember of my list since I forgot just my entire purse out in the car, which is the problem. But I
okay.
can go over what I remember. Let's see. There was how I almost ran over somebody in a parking lot. There was, let's see. See, I thought I remembered a bunch of stuff, and then I realized that was pretty much the only thing I remembered. I almost ran over stuff in the parking lot, someone in the parking lot. I can talk about the show that I went to when I almost ran over someone in the parking lot. That was the first like real concert that I actually went to. Um, I don't have much going on in my life. Avengers Endgame, I got nothing.
Let's talk
I
about the
should have gone
show.
and got my notebook.
Why don't you tell us about the show you went to?
Okay, so I'm trying to see if I wrote anything down in my memos on my phone. So Wayne wanted to go see this band for his birthday. The actual concert wasn't on his birthday, but but we bought the tickets on his birthday as his birthday present, and then went to go see the show. Um, so it was a band called Lost Dogs. Yeah, Lost Dogs, and they're
Okay.
I don't think they're local, but they are like a bit of a smaller band, but they're really good. They're very like folky, but like folk indie. No, I don't know. I'm really bad at describing genres, but they were pretty folky. Like they had, I think the only instruments they had were a guitar, a like drum set, and then a fiddle player, and then the vocalists,
Okay.
obviously. But they were really good. I'd heard them. I'd listened to them
Male
play.
male vocalist?
Yes, male vocalist, and then I don't think the female sings at all. I think she's the female lead's wife. But I'd heard them a little bit before because Wayne played them a little bit for me, and so I went and listened, and it was really good. I realized though that I do. Maybe I just don't enjoy the concert going experience. Like I enjoyed listening to the band, I enjoyed being there live. That was super awesome. But like it was a small venue, and there were like I didn't realize how many people were going to be standing so close to me, and then also people pushing past me, bumping into me, and I'm not familiar with concert etiquette, but like everyone's there to see the band. Everyone's standing like together or whatever. Unless you were trying to like meet up with your friend that's standing closer to the stage, why would you push past all these people to get closer when clearly they want to see too? Like, does that not feel rude?
Some people just like to stand right up on the stage to get closer to stardom or whatever. I don't know.
I understand that, but like all these other people are here to see the group too. Would like all the I'm sure all of these people would love to be standing like right next to the band, but you feel that you are more entitled to push past me and then stand in front of me so you can be a little bit closer. Like I wasn't upset, but that is how I feel that the other people would be feeling, which I
I
guess no one
may
was.
maybe it's an age gap situation. Maybe it's a because I grew up with I didn't go to a lot of concerts as I was younger. When I was younger, not like your aunt Terry, but I grew up remembering that that was part of the concert going, you know, concert going experience. Um, there was what's the word for it? General admission. That's what it is. General admission, where there's no reserved seats. So when there is general admission, everybody just tries to get as close to the stage and get that vibe. And they're all, it's part of a more of a rock concert thing, really. You're going to a folk concert. That always seemed to be more of a rock concert thing to try to get as close to the stage as possible and get that vibe, of being as close. There was just I don't know how to describe it. There was just some sort of um cachet in being able to say, "Oh yeah, I was right there at the
Mm.
stage or whatever." But having said that, I am also old enough to remember, I believe it was 1978, maybe 1979, when there were, because the majority of rock concerts used to be general admission in the 60s and the 70s. And then there was this big tragedy in Cincinnati where people were pushing to try to get close to the
Are you about to
stage
tell
where
me that
people were
somebody got
walking.
trampled?
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. I can't remember if anybody actually got killed, but there were people who were trampled
Mm.
and people who were like pushed up against, like, this is the stage, and they were like pushed
Mm.
up against the stage and stuff. I can't remember the exact details of the story. I remember it was one of those things. The main reason it sticks in my head because there was a TV show that was based on a radio station. It was a comedy. It was a sitcom. It
Mm.
was a TV show based on a radio station. It was called WKRP in Cincinnati, and they did a story because it happened. The tragedy happened while they were on the air,
Oh.
while the TV show was on the air. And so they did kind of, you know how TV shows sometimes do a very special
Mm.
episode. They did a very special episode about, you know, concerts being general admission and stuff like that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of states started outlawing that general
Well, what
admission
is
thing
wait? What is
for
general admission? General admission versus what?
versus reserved seating.
Oh.
Whereas you buy a ticket, and like most of the things, because your Aunt Terry and I are old, most of the things we go to nowadays are, you are like indoors. Like when we went to for instance, we went to the acapella competitions. Remember we went to the
Yeah.
acapella competitions a couple months ago? I posted about it on my Instagram.
Mhm.
And we went to the high school one. They were both in the same venue, the Carolina Theater in Durham. We went to the high school one. High school one was general admission.
Mhm.
So that means you could sit anywhere. But since this was a high school a cappella competition, there was no, so we didn't buy our tickets in advance because we weren't trying to get a specific seat or whatever. Or I
Yeah.
think we did buy our tickets in advance because Aunt Terry bought them, and she's very organized like that. So she feels like she has to have everything outlined and the tickets bought and things reserved if there's ability to reserve them and blah blah blah. So I think
Mhm.
she went ahead and bought the tickets. But it was general admission, so you could sit wherever there was a seat when you got there.
Okay.
Okay. But if this was back in 1978 in the rock concert days, and this was an actual rock concert, people would have been up on the stage, and there really, even though there's seats, people wouldn't have been in them because
Oh, see
people would
the
rush the
venue
stage.
that the venue that we were in, there weren't it wasn't seats, everyone was standing. It was still
Okay.
general admission, but there were no like there was cuz the venue it was a live it was a live stage venue and then a like restaurant bar behind
Uh huh.
it. And
Hmm.
so you go through the bar to get to the venue, and there was in the right back corner there was a slightly elevated section with chairs on it that was like the VIP section. So I guess if you bought VIP tickets, you could sit there, be above everyone, and like see over everybody's heads. And then the rest of it was just like a think of
Like a
like a
dance floor.
yeah, like a big open dance floor with a stage up at the front, and it was just like just filled with people, like packed,
Hmm.
packed, packed. Like I was standing
Hmm.
shoulder to shoulder with mofo's I don't know.
Uh huh. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the age of the people you were with, or maybe whether these were people who go to a lot of rock shows or something. But there's a lot of people who go to rock shows and stuff like to push their
Okay.
way to the front and be right at the thing. Like I said, we don't we a lot of places have outlawed that kind of thing, but I guess in a small club, because again, I don't go to clubs to see shows hardly ever either.
Mhm.
So I am not experienced with the desire to press up against the stage or whatever. And in big venues, big arena venues, they've pretty much kind of outlawed the standing up against the stage because people, the press and getting help, getting hurt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So no,
Man, it was
when you said that you thought you might not be a concert person, I thought you might be talking about, because I had a similar, well, not similar, but there's downtown in Mount Holly, there's this coffee shop that does, I don't know if it's every Friday or the first Friday of the month. It might be the first Friday of the month because Aunt Terry and I keep saying we're going to go and we keep missing it. But every once in a while we go. And they do, it's like little folky,
mhm.
bluegrass kind of music. Somebody with a fiddle or just an acoustic guitar or something, not, you know,
Yeah.
very very mountain-esque type of music. But we go some because that place does a chai. Terry's really picky about her chai, and that place does the chai just the way she likes it. So when she's
Okay.
in town to pick me up, and it happens to be first Friday of the month, we go. And we went, and it's a really tiny, I mean, that place is, if you take our whole bottom floor downstairs of our house, that place is a little bit smaller than the bottom floor of our house.
Oh Lord.
And so they have the people playing the music, like there's a window, out to the street, and the people are sitting right in the window area. And there's some couches and some, because it's a coffee shop kind of place where they have some books you can read. They have some couches if you want to stay a while, kind of situation. And so we went and we sat, and there was other people there, a lot of them way older than us, and listening to music. And I realized as I was listening to me, I mean, I'm enjoying the music, but it's not, how can I say this? If you go to a concert, like I've gone to see Gwen Stefani and No Doubt, okay, their music is very, I said, wait a minute, are you making faces over there?
No shook. I wish you'd taken me.
I've seen No Doubt twice.
And you didn't take me once?
Cause I wasn't the one who bought the tickets. Your father and Aunt Terry bought the tickets.
Disappoint.
I can't help it.
Disappoint.
Whatever. But when I go to see, like, and it usually is at that big Palladium in Charlotte, the outdoor thing. And when we go see something like that, the music is really upbeat. So I'm usually there and I'm doing this, I'm bobbing my head, I'm kind of not really
Mhm.
dancing, but just kind of, I know some of the
Moving
songs.
around.
I know some of the songs, so I can sing along a little bit and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
This was music where I don't know any of the songs. I'm enjoying the music, but it's not music you can dance to. So it's the kind of music that I would have playing in the background while I'm doing my homework
Yeah.
or get some work done or something like that. It's kind of mellow a little bit. And so I'm sitting there, and it's a very close place. So everybody's just like, it's like if you had a lot of people in your living room.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't,
Mhm.
this is not music to dance to. It would be rude to flip through a magazine, but really, if I was at home and this music is playing,
You'd be
I'd be
flipping through
flipping
a
through the
magazine.
magazine at the same time. And that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying the music. It just means that's what I normally do when I'm listening to that kind of music.
Yeah, I could feel that when they played the slower songs. I would definitely like, because the opening act guy, his name was Matt Heckler. Wayne actually hugged him out in the side lot while I was inside waiting for him to get back with my cup of water. And I'm like, rude. I could have been out there saying hey too. But anyway, And he did a great job, by the way. Everybody did great. The whole band, the band, and Matt Heckler both did great. But Matt Heckler, like, we didn't know who he was, and so he just came out, and I'm like, okay, I had like after seeing pictures of the band, I know that this isn't the band, and I'm like, who is this guy? And he just went out and was like wailing on a fiddle, and he was playing a banjo, and just all kinds of, and he's just like a solo guy, and it was just like crazy. I went and looked him. I'm following Lost Dogs on Spotify right now, but I also went and followed Matt Heckler on Spotify too because I was like, what? This guy's crazy. But so when he was going, almost all of the stuff that he was playing was very like upbeat, has kind of a like a mountain thump to it. Like you can everybody clapping, stomping, whatever. And then the other band came on. They had songs like that too, but they also played a few slower songs. And so when the slower songs are on, I was just like, I feel a little awkward because I can't even like mumble the words because I don't really know the like I don't know the songs well enough to mumble the words or anything or like I don't know. It
Uh-huh.
was just like a like basically what you described of like I would normally be listening to this while I'm doing something else.
So you don't know what to do with yourself.
Exactly. But it was a great concert. I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the music and everything. I got dehydrated while I was standing in there next to all those hot bodies, so I had to go outside and sit down. But and drink some cups of water. But it was really good. We got some merch afterwards, which is super cool. And then I almost hit somebody in the parking lot trying to leave, which was traumatizing. Sorry, I'm trying to
Lord.
cut some wire. It wasn't my fault. I'm going to start it by saying that it was not my fault. So we were going to leave the parking lot. And so I get into my car and I make sure we've got everything set up. We're not just gonna like turn the car and make all these people get out because people are like milling around the parking lot because it is a small parking lot. It's like man, I can't think of any examples for a gosh darn thing. It's like literally there's enough space to fit like one row of cars lined up this way and
Uh-huh.
then like maybe some cars parallel parked next to the building and then the building with like a narrow walkway in between. Like it is a narrow parking lot and
Uh-huh.
there's only a few spaces. And so when we first got there was a guy pulling out of the parking lot. I'm like, yes, I can park right next to the building. I don't have to try to go find parking in Asheville because trying to find parking somewhere else stresses me out because I don't know Asheville well enough to know, oh, there's a public parking right down the road over here. I don't know it
Uh-huh.
well enough. So we would have to just go looking, which is very frustrating
Uh-huh.
and stressful. So this guy's pulling out. So at the beginning of the concert, I'm like, yes, I get to park right here. Everything's awesome. So we get in the car. We make sure we're all set. We got our music playing and or music set up to play and everything. We've got the directions to go home. Everything set up. And so I turn on my loud ass car. And I say loud ass car because my car has no muffler anymore. My car is loud.
Oh, good Lord. You need to get a muffler.
Yeah, I do need to get another muffler. My muffler fell off on my birthday when I was taking Chloe back to her house,
Oh,
to her dorm. Anyway, so like I said, loud ass car. So I turn on my loud ass car and I look around behind me and I see people milling out of the way, like kind of moving, shuffling a little bit, but not moving very much. But I'm like, okay, well, once I start turning on the car, everybody move out of the way. So I turn on the car. So I start backing up a little bit and people are still moving out of the way. I'm checking all my rearview mirrors. I'm checking behind me. I'm doing everything they say you need to do in driver's ed, doing being a good driver, looking around. Everything's good. And so I back up and I've almost got in front of me, have not quite moved out of the way enough for me to be able to go. So I'm like, okay, if I back up just a little bit more, then I'll be able to correct enough that they won't even have to move. I can just glide right through this sea of people. So
mm-hmm.
I ease my foot off the brake a little bit, and because the car is old, it kind of jerked back a little bit. Like it didn't jerk back very far, but it jerked back just a little bit. All of a sudden, I hear slamming on the back of my car. And I'm like, what is going on? What happened? And so I get like real nervous and shook up. And I'm like, what's going on? And so this lady comes up to Wayne's window. I roll the window down. This lady comes up to Wayne's window. She's like, everything's all right. There's just some people. Am I glitching or are we here? Okay. So she's like, everything's all right. Just don't back up any further. There's some people sitting on the ground and you got really close to them. And so just don't back up any further and we will get you out of this parking lot. She was super nice and I'm glad that she was there. Otherwise, I probably would have had a panic attack. So I didn't want to honk the horn because one, I'm just not that person. Like I'm not, it feels really rude to me to honk the horn under like almost any circumstance. Two, I was literally 100% quite literally the only black person that had been in that building. They would have known it was me.
Uh-huh.
They would have known it was me. So I didn't want to
I
honk the
feel
horn.
you.
I
I
didn't
feel
want to
you.
honk the horn. So she's like, "Don't worry, we'll get you out." And so I didn't want to yell or anything because I was like, and I was shook up and everything. So she, standing beside the car, looks at everybody in front of us and is like, "Get the f out of the way." She is trying to get out of here. Move, y'all are standing in the way. She is tried. They're trying to leave and go home, and she just like yells at everybody to get out of the way. And I'm like, "Thank you." And so I'm finally able to drive out because that lady was able to yell at everybody for me to get out of the way. And so I hold it together just long enough to get onto the highway to where I know how to get home without the map. I pull over to the side of the road and I burst into tears because I was so shook up. I was like, because when people started slamming on the car, I was like, did I run over someone? There were dogs in the parking lot earlier. Did I hit a dog? Did I run over someone's foot? Did I run over someone's phone? What did I do? And I was so shook and like shaken up. And so I literally cry on the side of the road for like 15 minutes. It was like really bad.
Aww.
I was so shaken up. And then Wayne's like,
Aww.
here, let's just watch a funny video and you'll feel better and then we'll go. And it worked and I was calm enough and I was good. And then we drove home. But like, man, because I was fully convinced for like almost the rest of the night basically that it was my fault that something had gone wrong. And then everybody else that I told that story to was like, why are you
They were
yelling?
sitting
Why
on
are
the
you yelling?
ground
And
in
then
a
everybody
parking
that I told
lot.
that story to was like, why are you yelling? Oh, you're breaking up. Hang on, repeat yourself. You're breaking up.
You were breaking up before me.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I was fully convinced that it was my fault that I should have honked the horn, that I should have said something, that I should have done something. But everyone that I've told the story to since was like, why are you yelling? You shouldn't be sitting on the ground. You need to get out of the way because people are driving.
Exactly. My first thought was, okay, you went to listen to this kind of folky bluegrass thing, and you're in Asheville, which Tracy, if you're still there, I don't know if you know Asheville, but Asheville is considered the hippy dippy capital of North Carolina. So
Pretty
you're
much.
in you're in Asheville. So I would not be surprised if they were doing some pot brownies or something while they were watching the show and they're just bait sitting in the parking lot.
I mean,
Which is not it's
they may
not
not have had to be because it was at a bar, so they probably just got drunk.
that too. So there was no this but that was my first thought. You're in Asheville. These people are baked and they're sitting in the parking lot. So it's not your fault. The parking lot is not a place to sit.
No, no, it's not.
It
But
was
I
not your
was
fault. But I also understand your feeling more so than I would have in the past. When I was your age, I was the only black person in a lot of venues, but I didn't really think it. I maybe gave a passing thought. I'd look around and go, "Yep, still only black person, whatever," and keep stepping. I never really thought about it because back then the majority of my friends were white. As you know, your nana is biracial. So
mm,
I did not think about it when I went to places. And because I never had people who would confront me, I never had white people who, I felt like were confronting me or making me feel uncomfortable for being the only black person in a place or whatever. I never thought about it. But at the same time, I understand just because I never was confronted with that kind of stuff doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And especially in the political climate that we're having right now, I can understand you exercising some caution and letting the white lady yell at the people sitting in the parking lot so that
mm,
there would not be any confrontation.
yeah,
Or if there's a confrontation, let them confront each other and you just drive home.
yeah.
So I totally understand where you were coming from with that. Well, I this has really turned into a Tuesday night music club because that seems to be all we're talking about today.
I mean,
So,
I think that's the only other music thing I have to talk about unless something else comes up. Let's go over something on your list now.
okay, well, my list was I caught up with Lucifer.
Okay.
What should I do with my hair?
Okay.
Um, living to see something become a classic.
Okay.
I need to find a new Netflix podcast and Lizzo's new album.
Time out. Did you just say Netflix and podcast?
Yes.
What's a Netflix podcast? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, so I guess that's where we're going on the list.
Do you mean like a podcast talking about Netflix?
Yes, a
Oh, okay.
podcast
See, I
talking
was
about
thinking
Netflix.
of podcasts on Netflix. And I was like,
No,
what?
no, 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 no. No, I was listening to a few weeks ago, or maybe it was about a month or so ago, I was looking for podcasts about Netflix because I wanted to, I guess it was part of my spring cleaning kind of thing that I'm doing. I wanted to take better advantage of the Netflix and Hulu, excuse me, the Netflix and Hulu subscriptions.
Hmm.
You know, we've discussed this before. You're paying for Hulu, we're paying for Netflix. Isaac is paying for Amazon Prime. So, and I know you've got your own Amazon Prime. I just use Isaac's.
Yeah.
I guess I could use your father's, but I already have Isaac's password, so I'll just use his. But so I wanted to take better advantage, and so I was looking for podcasts, but I'm kind of picky in what I wanted. Most of the podcasts that I found were either podcasts where they follow an individual show and go
Hmm.
episode by episode. And I don't have anything against those kind of podcasts if it's a show that I actually watch.
Yeah.
Like there is a whole podcast network called AfterBuzz that I've watched, that I've listened to there, because they do video and they do audio. So basically,
Yeah.
they make a video and then they, also put the audio up on Spotify. So I've watched their stuff on YouTube for years, for specific shows that I watch, because they have a different podcast for different shows. If you are a fan of Dancing with the Stars when it comes back, they have a Dancing with the Stars show, and every episode they'll talk about who danced well, who didn't dance well, who do you think is going to get eliminated next, blah blah blah. When Grimm was still on TV, I used to watch the Grimm podcast they had, where they talk about each individual episode and what predictions they had for next week's episode and blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
I don't have anything against those kind of podcasts for certain shows that I'm really interested in. I don't like that for every show. And I don't really want that for a show that I don't watch. So there's a lot of podcasts that just say Netflix, and then you go on the podcast and it's like they're going through the chilling adventures of Sabrina episode by episode.
Hmm.
Then there's other Netflix podcasts. Most of, to be honest, the majority of the other Netflix podcasts seem to talk about the popular Netflix shows. Like when you turn on your Netflix and the front page comes up and the
What's
stuff
up there? Yeah.
is right in the top, or the like what's trending, those are the shows that everybody is talking about. So I already know those exist. I was looking
Yeah.
for a podcast that that digs deep, because I always suspect that there are things on Netflix that I'm just not finding. That
Hmm.
somehow the algorithm is not bringing me everything, it's just bringing me what it thinks I want to watch. So I was trying to find a podcast that maybe was finding other stuff to see if there was anything interesting that I wanted to watch. And for a while, I was
Yeah.
listening to this one called Recently Added, because I thought, okay, this is the show. And they were relatively new when I found them. And I was listening to them for a little while. And, they fancy themselves to be comedians, so they think they're funny. I don't necessarily think they're funny. But, I wanted somebody who was talking about, and there's a woman on there too. I don't like to listen, this may be sexist, but I don't like to listen to podcasts that are all male. I prefer there to be at least a woman. There are a couple podcasts I do listen to that are all male,
Hmm.
but the guys have to be really. I mean, they got really good personalities. Okay, because a lot of podcasts that are all male, I don't. I just don't like the energy. I don't like the vibe.
I'm realizing now
But
that I think about it, most of the podcasts that I listen to, if not all of the podcasts that I listen to, have at least one woman on them.
yeah, it seems like it's a better vibe if
I
there's
didn't
at
even
least
do it
one
on purpose
woman.
either. I literally had not thought about it until you said something just now.
Oh no, I do it on purpose. When I'm looking for a new podcast to listen to or whatever, and there are no women on it, and they never have any women guests.
Hmm.
Because like the one podcast that I listen to every day called the Daily Zeitgeist, where they kind of make fun of news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but they frequently have their third person. They always have a third person who's the guest. It's two
Hmm.
hosts, and they always have a guest, and frequently the guest is female.
Okay.
So, and if they don't have a female guest, a lot of time they bring in their producer who's female.
Okay.
So there's a lot of times there's a female voice,
Yeah.
but but this podcast, the more I listen, this podcast is called Recently Added, and the more because they purport to be like, okay, this is what's been added to Netflix this week, and plus the deep dives is what
Hmm.
they're looking for, and so I like that about it, but their sense of humor is not to my
No.
taste, and their running shtick is that they don't actually watch the whole show. So it's like they'll have a slate of 8 shows that they're going to talk about, right? And they give ahead of time. They give the guests, the upcoming guests, ahead of time the list of shows there are, and then
Hmm.
they'll pick a show and they'll say, okay, did, did you watch this show? Nope, didn't watch it. Nope, didn't watch it. But then they'll proceed to talk about why it wasn't worth watching anyway. Or I watched half an episode but couldn't get through it and stuff like that. And I was like, and the last straw for me, because I just, like I said, I just binge watched the whole 10 episodes of Lucifer's new season, season 4. And I'm not like a super, you still there, Maya? I think I might have lost Maya. Yep, I think I might have lost Maya. Well, while I'm trying to get her back, let's see if we can find her again. Okay, I sent her ringing her again. Oh yes, she crashed. Oh no. Oh no. So let me see if she wants to try to get back or if we are done for today. This is riveting, isn't it? I'm sure this is fascinating for whoever's going to come back and watch this video. But while we're waiting to see if Maya would like to log back in, what I'm working on, what I just started, once I got the first setup row done, it's not terribly difficult, is I'm doing the unraveled mittens um, scrap crochet along. I'm doing I was pulling up the website so that I can see what the name of it is. The square, I'm doing the 10th square, which is called, what is she calling it? Oh, no, not 10th square. I'm sorry. This is the ninth square. She's calling it the wattle stitch square. Let's see. I'll switch the screen here to show. Okay, so it's the wattle stitch screen, the wattle stitch square, which is very simple. You basically do a setup row. It's multiples of 3. You basically do a setup row um, where you're doing chain ones in between the stitches, and then for every row thereafter, you make your new stitches in the chain one stitches. So it's very, once you get the setup row done, it's very simple to keep going after that, and so it's easier to talk after that. I just couldn't. It was difficult for me to talk and do the beginning row when I was doing it. So let's see. Okay, so she says that she is working on it. Thank you, Tracy. Are you saying the color that I picked is pretty? I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, this is the same color. See, it's showing. I don't know how it's going to show because what I see right now tends to be a little bit different. The color tends to be a little bit different than what shows on the final video. But this is actually um, this is actually a purple, like a bright royal. When you think of royalty wearing royal robes, that's the kind of purple that this is. And it doesn't quite show as purple as it is. I'm looking at the playback now to the side of me, and it still shows more bluish than purple. But it's the same color that I trimmed the last square with, as you can see. This is square number 8 that I showed before. So it's the same color that I trimmed this square with. And I think I threw this color into another square somewhere in here. Yeah, I threw it into at least one more square. One, maybe two squares. So, so thank you, Tracy. Again, it's this is other than beside my tongue is not working. Unlike some of the other scraps I have, this is a color that I actually would use because my one of my other daughters, purple used to be her favorite color. I don't know if it still is, but purple used to be her favorite color. So purple is a color that I used to have on hand a good bit. Um, but I'm like I said, this is an oddball of purple, so that's why I'm trying to use it up. If this isn't enough to make a whole square, then I'll add in some of this green just to, like I said, I couldn't decide because my intention was to try to use. I have a big ball of um yes, Tracy, these are going to be an Afghan. This is the crochet along that I've mentioned before. It's the one that started in January at the Unraveled Mitten website. The blogger on that site, I don't know what her name is, but the blogger on that site started a crochet along in January, and she does 2 squares a month. It's kind of like a mystery crochet along. She does 2 squares a month, so we're on square number 9 now. Yeah, we're on square number 9 now. So, and I don't usually keep up with crochet alongs very well. So I was surprised that I was able to keep up with this one. Um, I like that she is, yeah, she doesn't give her name. I'm looking on her website right now. She doesn't give her name, which is cool. Oh, Heather. Never mind. I see it. Her name is Heather. Heather at the Unraveled Mitten. So I'm just trying to use up as many of these balls as possible. You've been here every week, Tracy, so you've probably heard me say this before. But I'm trying to use up as many of these squares as I can. I mean, as many of these oddballs as I can, so that I can feel free to buy yarn that is more to my taste. But this color actually is my taste. I like because I like bright colors. This green, even though green is my favorite color, this is a very muted green. So it's not really. something I would pick myself. I'm very attracted to to like those bright, crazy, like Red Heart just put out a lookbook, because I subscribe to their newsletters. They put out a lookbook like a couple weeks ago that they called Rainbow, and they had all these projects done rainbow colors. And welcome back, Maya.
I've returned just in time to have to walk my dog. I will mute my mic and I will be right back if you don't mind holding down the fort for just a little while longer.
I sure will.
All right.
But yeah, Red Heart had a lookbook called Rainbow, and it had a lot of rainbow colored projects like blankets and hats. And I don't know if it was like their rainbow yarn, or I'm looking it up now, but that was it attracted me, even though I don't really, it doesn't really fit into my house. Although, but let me stop saying that, because my house doesn't really have a specific look, so I can't really say that it doesn't fit into my house, because my house does, we didn't really decorate so much as just kind of put stuff in to make, so that we can have places to sit, and paint the walls a color so they wouldn't be white. But like the walls in here are yellow because this used to be Maya's room, and we were gonna put like we had a tie-dyed border that we were gonna put up there, and we never got around to it before she moved out. But such is life. But I'm going to show the screen. I'm going to switch the screen again. See, this is the lookbook that they put out a couple weeks ago. See, very rainbow, very, and see, like this blankets with these kind of colors really attract me for some reason. And like this here really just the brightness of it really attracts me. Now I wouldn't necessarily wear the hat, but the blankets definitely attract me with the brightness. So there we go. There we go. So yeah, I'm just really attracted to bright colors. Oh, so you get emails from the Unraveled Mitten. See, I don't ever subscribe to anybody's newsletters anymore because I get so much stuff in my inbox, and I'm trying to not exactly go to inbox zero, as they say, because I don't think I'll ever go to inbox zero. But um I go through these phases, I guess is the best way to put them. Excuse me, mouth getting dry. Thank you. Um I go through these phases where, because I went through um periods of unemployment, okay, where I was not employed consistently. So I'd have 6 months or more where I was not employed, and then I'd find a job, and then I'd work for a few years, and then I'd be unemployed again. So for the past 10 years or so, I went through periods of unemployment. Did I Google? Yes, if you just Google Red Heart, what did I Google? Let's see, Red Heart. Yeah, if you just Google Red Heart Rainbow Lookbook, it'll come up. The name of the book is, um, I think it's The Sunshine and Rainbows. Let me pull this up again. Yeah, It's called Sunshine and Rainbows. If you just if you just type Red Heart Rainbow Lookbook, it'll pull it up. And I don't think you need to be registered to download it at all. I think Lion Brand is the one where you have to be registered to get any of their patterns. And I keep registering and then I'll forget my um I'll forget my login because I don't download their patterns very often. I'll see like one pattern that I like, and half the time I'm not even trying to download their patterns. I just want to look and see if it's in my size. If they would put on their website on the front, because more so than Red Heart, Lion Brand has a lot of like sweater and cardigan patterns that interest me, but they don't have on their front page what the size range is. They make you download the pattern. Cool, cool. Are you planning, Tracy? Do you see something that you like for like one of your kids or something? Or you just happen to like rainbow blankets? Are you there, Maya?
I am. Looks like it was a false alarm.
What, for the dog?
Yeah, I took her out. She didn't do number one or number two, so I guess she just wanted to go out and sniff some flowers.
Wanted to get some sunshine.
It's a good day for it anyway.
So, well, we were talking about red heart and rainbow colors.
Okay, okay, I can dig both of these things.
I was just saying that I like rainbow colors in things, but most of the yarn that I have is not rainbow colors, is not bright colors. Most of most of what people have given me is pale, muted colors, and that's not my thing.
I have,
I
I think,
prefer the
mostly bright colors in my stuff, but I also have bought almost all of my own yarn. So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. I hardly ever buy my own yarn. And the few times that I have recently bought yarn, a lot of times the colors are not um like that, like the yarn for that scarf that I showed on Saturday. That was, I bought that yarn on sale and that was the only color that was
mhm.
available. And it was a situation where I had asked a friend to drive me to Ollie's specifically to see, because other people online had said, oh, Ollie's has yarn on clearance.
Mhm.
So I had asked somebody to specifically drive me out there. So I didn't want to come away without buying yarn because I felt like she took the trouble to drive me out
Yeah,
there. So, and it wasn't a situation where, sometimes people will drive me somewhere and they'll sit in the car and wait for me to get done. But even if she had sat in the car, if I had come out with nothing, then I would have felt bad for making her drive.
yeah,
So, so I bought some yarn. And I'll be honest, at the time that I bought that yarn, like I said, I was not that thrilled with it because those colors are not my thing. I don't, I hardly, I can count on one hand the times that I've used number five bulky yarn for
hmm.
anything. Because because if you normally shopped at Walmart for your yarn, then normally what you find is number four yarn.
Yeah,
You're not finding a lot of, now it's changed a little bit because Walmart carries Lion Brand mandala yarn, and I think mandala is a three. But
mhm.
most of the yarn that Walmart has carried in the past has been number four yarn. You're not finding sock yarn. So you're not finding twos and ones. You're not finding DK yarn, which is pretty much a three. DK or sport weight, that's a three.
Yeah,
You can tell I'm old because I use the words instead of the
hmm.
numbers. But you're not finding fingering or sock. You're definitely not finding lace weight. You're not finding, and you're not finding on the other end of the scale, you're not finding bulky or super bulky. Everything, because four is kind of pretty average as far as like it's middle of the road. as far as you can make the majority of your projects with a number four. So that's what. So you pretty much have to go out of your way to a craft store or something if you're looking for something that's not a four.
Yeah.
So when I picked up that yarn and it was a five, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this, but I'm already in the store and it's not really my colors, but I had her drive me all the way out here, so I should go ahead and use buy some of this. And now I wish I had bought more than two skeins, like I said on Saturday, because I like the way the yarn feels now, and I like the way the stripes are really subtle,
Hmm.
even though those aren't my colors, that burnt orange going into like a reddish color is not really my color scheme, but I still think it's pretty, and it's a discontinued yarn, so no chance of getting that.
Yeah.
um Tracy said that she likes the colors. Marley Bird does projects for Red Heart and she has one for, yeah, I watch Marley Bird's um videos sometimes. I haven't ever done any of her patterns. I haven't ever knit or crocheted any of her patterns. There hasn't been anything that has jumped out at me enough to make me go, yes, I want to make that. Honestly, the Lion Brand patterns that interest me the most, because just like Red Heart, Lion Brand has been around for a number of years, and every once in a while I run across a vintage Red Heart pattern. And so I'm interested in the vintage ones, but I'm not the modern ones. Sometimes I'll see some modern ones. I can't say that I don't ever like modern Red Heart patterns, but usually when I like a modern Red Heart pattern, it's a blanket or
Mm.
maybe a hat
Mm.
or some other sort of thing. I rarely see a sweater, a plus size sweater, because
Yeah.
I need a good 4X to cover my behind. I might be able to squeeze a 3X across the top here, but I need a good 4X if it's something that's going to go down below my waist, like a long sweater or something. So, and most of the patterns, and I don't have the math skills to size up a pattern. So that's not going to happen. So Red Heart doesn't often have, but for that matter, Lion Brand doesn't either. Lion Brand doesn't often have patterns sized up for a big girl like me. But Lion Brand a lot of times has patterns that are more to my taste as far as style, even though they're too small for me. Okay, so we already talked about Netflix podcasts. Basically, I need a podcast where they dig deep into.
The bowels of Netflix.
There is a podcast called The Bowels of Netflix.
Nuh-uh.
Yes,
Oh snap! I called it.
yes. And I can't remember if I tried to check it out. I'll have to go back and look again because I think I tried to check it out, and sometimes people's voices annoy me.
I
I
can see
I,
that.
I hate to be, because everybody has a right to do, to try things, but I don't, and I have the right not to partake of them.
Hmm.
And I feel bad because I feel like, especially if it's something like somebody has a lisp or something, then I feel bad because it's like, well, they can't help it if they have a lisp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so they have a right to, have a show, and they have opinions and stuff like that. But like, there's a couple shows that I've listened to before that I like everybody on the show, but the one presenter who has a list, just his voice is. I suspect that even if he didn't have a lisp, his voice would annoy me. So that's possibly it.
Yeah. It looks like. Hang on. Sorry. It looks like my phone died and I may have gotten a call and didn't realize.
Oh, yeah, Tracy. We're on
Uh,
laundry watch. As soon as she gets the call to pick up her boyfriend from the laundromat because he's doing laundry,
uh,
which is really
um,
sweet. I mean, if you got a man who's going to do the laundry, So she's the driver and he's doing the laundry. So she has to go pick him up as soon as he calls. So the live stream's over as soon as he places the call.
Yeah, I'm checking my messages now. My phone's at 20%. Why did it turn itself off? Okay, hang on. He sent a voice message, so I'm going to
You,
listen to that. I'm going to mute my mic and listen to that real quick.
okay, you need a new phone. She
I
needs
really do.
she needs a new phone, Tracy. She really does. But is she gonna save up and spring for it? Who knows? But have you made any? You said you have one of Marley Bird's sweater patterns. Have you made any of them, Tracy? I'd be interested to know. And if her patterns are easy to follow. I mean, they seem like they would be. I've watched some of her videos, and her videos seem easy to follow.
All right, I listened to the voice message, and yeah, they definitely called me during that interim when my phone somehow died at 20%. So
Well, I'm
I got
sorry
to
for that.
go.
All right, so this is the end of our Tuesday night natter. Anybody who comes after tonight and watches this video, let me know if let us know down in the comments in the doobly doo, as Maya likes to say.
Well, the
Let us
comments
know
aren't the
down in
doobly doo.
what?
Comments aren't the doobly doo. The description is the
Oh
doobly
no, the
doo.
comments are not the doobly doo. The description area is the doobly doo. Let us know down in the comments if you would be interested in us doing another Tuesday night natter, or if this is just a waste of our time and we should just stick to Saturday nights,
Talking to
or
each other is never a waste of our time. How dare you?
yeah, yeah, but we could talk to each other and just not record it and leave the rest of them out of it. So
True.
I'm just asking if they actually want to watch it. If us talking is even remotely entertaining or whatever. Oh, okay, Tracy, you have a good night too. I will be getting my night will involve me getting back to work. 'Cause as soon as I hang up with you guys, I'm putting down the crocheting and I'm getting back to my paid job for a couple more hours. And then I will probably switch to crocheting the AKA sweat scarf probably because that's what I said I was going to do on Saturday night. And so, what is
And
your night going to entail, Maya?
I'm going to try to finish up Pendants.
And aren't you supposed to be gaming tonight?
We are. So I'm going to be working on Dice Pendants while we're gaming. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm not quite finished with it, but I feel like it's got a little bit much going on.
It's interesting.
I've got like
It's interesting.
6 or 7 more dice, so.
I thought that die looked nice though, and it would be nice to see maybe a little bit more of the die showing through.
Yeah, I think I might cut some of these and just like tuck them away somewhere.
Hmm. But okay, you go pick up your man. I'm gonna go back to work. Thank
Yep.
you to everybody who joined us for the Tuesday night natter. Too bad Maya couldn't give me some advice on what to do with my hair. Although looking at the video, it looks better in the video than it does in person.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, but it's pitiful. It's pitiful. If
Maybe
I
we'll discuss things next
Yeah,
time.
if I still have this style next week, I'll explain to you what is wrong with my hair. But all right, thanks for joining us for Tuesday Night Natter. Hopefully, oh yeah, won't see us on Saturday, will we? No. So hopefully next week, I'll let
So
you
I
know.
guess next Tuesday?
Maybe next Tuesday. We'll see. I'll put it in the discussion tab. Bye now.
Bye.